The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome everybody to today's Pandora's Box webinar. My name is Werner and I will present you today the free edition of the Widget Designer. I do a short introduction. Yes, we also have somebody who is commenting all the questions and take care and do a bit of moderation. This is Mike. Mike, will you come in and say hi to everybody?
Hello.
Here we go. So if you have any questions, he will answer it. And if something is important or interesting for everybody, he will ask it to me. So feel free to go in your question section and ask as many questions as you want. Okay, should we start? I think we do. So this webinar will be recorded and we will put it online on our YouTube channel as soon as we have all the data of it. But I will tell you and I will show you the link at the end of this webinar. So today, what are we doing? We do the Widget Designer free edition. This actually goes out to all beginners. If you use Pandora's Box for the very first time or just be slightly familiar with that, never use the Widget Designer, we will do a little overview, which because we just have these 30-40 minutes, we do a little overview. We show you some of the rudimentary functions. So I will show you, I will explain you what is the Widget Designer, where it can be downloaded, how can we connect it to Pandora's Box, and which is most important, what are the major differences between the license, so paid Widget Designer, and this Widget Designer version we are doing today, which is the free version. I will show you some very basic widgets. We will do just buttons and faders. And I will show you some very easy program scripts, and I'll show you the script assistance. Then we will control a little Pandora's Box show, just the sequence and the queuing, how to pause and play the sequence. And I will give you the links and show you where to access our manual and the help file. So what is actually the Widget Designer? The Widget Designer is an advanced control surface creation framework. Long word, complicated, but basically it means you can create your own user interface. So whatever you want to do, if you receive any specific data, triggers, signals, information, etc., like the ArtNet, MIDI, or TCP and UDP connections, or DMX, the Widget Designer will receive it, translate it, and send it to any device you want to choose. The Widget Designer interface is HTML5 based and has some internal CSS styles that you can design the user interface you're creating in a very funky and cute way. It has its own program language or script language, and there are over 1,500 commands. We will just do like 2 or 3 of these today, but there are a lot actually. Where can it be downloaded? So you can go to the Kulux page, which is, I'll show you, looks like this. It's kulux.de. You swap your language into English, and then you have the button support and the download center. If you access the download center, a little window will open where you have to register. If you haven't done that before, you just register and then you can download the Widget Designer. The version we will do today actually is Widget Designer 6.1.1. So the free version, of course. You just need to download it, start it. If there is no license or dongle installed or plugged into your computer, it will start the free version automatically. So very simple. Here are the links again, but I will put all this under the description of the YouTube channel later on. So how do we connect to Pandora's Box? As soon as we downloaded the Widget Designer and we started it, how do we connect? I don't know if any one of you guys listened to Dave's webinar from yesterday, and he made a little nice drawing. That is this one actually, how you can access the Widget Designer to Pandoras Box. I will show you again, but I will do a little hands-on and show you how we do it ourselves. So in here, I have my little Pandoras Box project. Very simple. It's just 2 layers, 2 containers on 2 layers, and a few queues. If I want to connect, I open my, if you open the Widget Designer for the very first time, it will look like that without this little buttons over here. You see this little menu, connections, and you go to PB connection, and then you can type in your IP address. Widget Designer will always address to the master software of Pandoras Box. So in my case, my master software runs on the same computer where I put my Widget Designer on. So as you can see, this IP address stays the same, or you can type it in here, use my local IP, press apply, and then it will work. And to make sure it works, I programmed this little button just to see, this little fader, sorry, just to see that we have access to Pandoras Box. So far so good, so we can actually start with it. Any questions so far? Does anyone want to know anything about this stuff? Mikey?
No questions so far.
Okay, then I will go on. So we did connect. What is the difference to the licensed Widget Designer? That's actually the key thing of today's webinar. We're using the free version, but if you use the full license version of the Widget Designer, you also will create nodes, and you can create global variables, you can create functions and macros. You have the little, which is very handy, Widget Explorer, which shows you all the widgets which you created on your GUI so far. It has a debug logger, very important for checking your scripts. It has a lot more widgets like a script timer, an image loader, all the displays, the multi-touch panel and playlist, and a lot more. And it has unlimited web clients. The version we are using now can just access one web client, so you can program your little widget project and put it on one iPad, for example. And there are a lot of more devices like an AirScan, Fidgets, Kinects, etc. It's a lot more stuff. Also, you can actually see it on the Widget Designer, because some of the, where does it go? No. Here. Some of the things which are not accessible in the free version are grayed out. As you can see, there's no list views, no playlist, not of the shows, the variables are not shown up. So it is actually easy to see which stuff is not there. But if you program a Widget Designer project in a licensed version, you can actually start the free version, and it will have nodes, it will have variables, everything you programmed with the licensed version, but you cannot edit it. That's the key difference, I would say, in this case. So we will I created the first very project, and now I will show you the basic widgets which you all need to start with, which is a fader and a button. And I will show you some easy programming scripts with the script assistance. And I will show you how to easily control queues and the sequence of a Pandoras Box show. So let's do this. What we're going to do, what do you see here? I have these 2 containers on the show. I have 5 little queues, and I programmed this button to go to queue 1. You see here, this is queue number 3. This will access this little container over here. And I can start this sequence. I can pause it. I can stop it. And I have this little fader to switch the layers on and off, the opacity on and off. How to do that? So we start with a blank page 1. First of all, we have the so-called run and edit modes. These are the ones up here. There's a little shortcut for it. It's Alt and R for the run mode and Alt and M for the edit mode. So how do we get a widget? There's 3 possibilities. There's the little menu tab up here. There is icons here, or you can simply right-click on the surface. Go to widgets, and we will start with a little fader to control if our connection is valid. So we have the faders over here. I start with the vertical fader, click on it, place it where I want to, and double click on it to get the item properties of the fader. I will not go through all of this. This will be way too much for this little webinar. I just want to show you how can I address the opacity of these 2 layers. So you can see over here, it's my fader number 2, because on the other page I have already 1 fader setting, but we start here with the device. This device which address the different sites on our device type inside Pandoras Box. So this is layer 3.1, which I want to address the opacity. So I just simply type it in, 3,1, and I have another container on layer number 5. So I can address 2 at the time. It's 3,1. And the parameter I want to put in is the opacity. There's a little drop down where you can see nearly all the I think it's all the parameters which you have in the device control tab. So opacity is the one we will use. And you see already you don't have to apply anymore. It has an auto apply, but you still have this apply button. I swap from the edit mode into the run mode, and now I have a fader which controls my layer number 1 over here, and as well my layer, no, it doesn't address it. What have I missed here? Oh, it's 3.5. 3,5. Here we go. So that's a very, very, very basic fader setting, which you can use all the time. If you want to go to the create mode, so we have this run mode when everything is programmed and edited. We have the edit mode, and we have the create mode. The create mode will simply just put in the latest widget you've chosen. So if I want to have a second fader, I go to the create mode and just edit it again. But we don't need a second fader for this one, so I stop this. And I go back to the edit mode. The next thing we need is a few buttons. So again, 3 possibilities. You can go to widgets. We want to use buttons. And the only thing we have in the free versions are the custom script, media control, and queue control button. Today we will just use the custom script button, a button where you can put in a script. I will put 4 of them onto the surface. So if I double click, we are still in the edit mode. I double click on the button to get the properties. So the basic thing always looks the same. You have the ID, you have the name of the custom script, but advanced stuff, you have to dive a bit more into the widget designer to get all these details, but we just do the simple things today. The interesting part is we have the script windows. There's one window which you can use for on press, one window which you can use for a release, even if the mouse enters the script or the mouse leaves, you have a script. The thing we want to do is we want to access the queue number 1. As soon as we press this button, I want my now pointer to be on queue number 1. So under button styles, I can label that. So I type in Q1. As you can see, it's doing that straight away. So, and I close this again that you see the scripting window. How do we do that? We use the script assistant. So the thing we need to do, we want to go to the queues. So for example, we type in go to, and the script assistants give me all the possibilities I have now with the order go to. And the thing is, we have VD page go to. That's the script I use here to swap between the different pages. But we want to just go to a queue. So I type on it, and the script assistant will give me information. This is the example how to type it in. Sequence, go to Q2, so brackets open 2, 3 brackets close. And in the description we will see, set the now pointer of sequence 2 to find the third queue. We just have one sequence in this little example, so this will be sequence number 1. And the queue we use is queue number 1 as well. So sequence go to queue, sequence 1, queue number 1, press apply, go to the run mode with Alt R, and we see our no pointer just jumped to queue number 1. Let's do this thing very quick to queue number 3. So if we want to access the item properties in the run mode, we right click on the actual button, press custom script properties. So we have the same window like over here. We can actually copy and paste scripts from here if we want. So I copy that script from my very first button, Control C. I X this window and I press Control V. So this is actually the same, still the same script. It is sequence go to queue of sequence number 1 to my first queue. Now I want to go to my third queue. And in button styles, I can label that Q3. I will press apply and OK. I'm already in the run mode, and now you see I can access very easy and very simple the queues. So easy and nice to set up. Any questions so far for this?
Is it also possible to send multiple commands at the same time?
Yes, of course it is. I will show you with the next example. So
okay.
The thing we do over here, now we want to get our sequence to start. So I would say we use this button to let the sequence play. This script is called sequence set state. You have to know that, but as soon as you go into all the comments, I will show you where to access them later on. So set state is the easiest probably, and your script assistant will show me sequence set state. So in which state do I want to set my sequence? I click on it and it will give me the example already, very easy to access. So again, the first number you see set sequence number 2 to play. So I just have one sequence which I can type in, and my script assistant is very, very smart. So what else can I type in? Pause, play, and stop. I will use the play button, the play command. And at the same time, I can type in as many scripts as I want into the script window. It will, of course, if you have an enormous number, it will cause performance issue, and you would use a function or a macro for it. But in this case, we can set a second script in it. So, for example, we use go to queue number 5. I have this little wait queue over here, so I want to access this one as well. So I have 2 commands inside, and you will see apply. If I press play, it goes to my wait queue. I programmed the wait queue to wait for 5 seconds, and then my whole show starts. And of course, you can pause this whole thing as well. I type in sequence pause. So sequence set state. Sequence number 1 will pause. Oh, it is in the wait mode. So here we go. Bump, play, go back to queue number 1. I press play. Oh, okay. I have this little jump to queue number 5 script in here as well. I just put it in to show you that it's possible to make multiple scripts. So I erase that one, go to access, and now I have an easy control buttons for this little program. It's queue number 1. Queue number 3, I can play the sequence, I can pause the sequence, and I can use my fader. So that's the little things I want to do. Is there a question about this programming?
Nope, nothing right now.
Okay. So simple stuff over here. The thing we have when we control the sequence, it's of course pause and play. One more thing I want to show you is the stop command on the sequence, because it has something special. Sequence set state on my sequence number 1, and I go to stop. In my label, I type in stop, then I find it wieder. Stop with O, of course. Here we go. Apply and OK. I go to the run mode. So I have this play and pause. And if I go to stop, you will see that my now pointer will go to position number 0. So actually, the thing you will use usually for a sequence will be play and pause, because the stop button will always go at the very start of your sequence. Play, pause, stop. So that's it actually from this little show. If you have any interests, any requests for more webinars, you can actually access our forum. All the links I've shown in here, I will access to the, I will put under the description of the webinar in the forum, and I will put it later on under all this, under this YouTube channel. So we will put this little recording later on a YouTube channel. It's called Pandoras Box Learn. And of course, I showed you the Kulux page already. One major thing I want to show you, which is the last thing I do at the moment, is our help file. So we have a very good help file. That's actually our whole manual inside. If you have your project open, there's always this little question mark. in here, which goes to the help file. And here you see, what did I put in? Under index, you will find all the what's new, what is in Pandora's box, what is in the Widget Designer, everything you want to know about this. You can type it in. You have a search button. Very good, very, very well maintained, I hope. Find the notes and all this stuff. So feel free, that's what we do as well. Feel free to use the help file all of the time. You can access it via our homepage, or you can simply use this question mark in the Widget Designer. So this is it from my side. Any last question, Mike, or is everybody fine?
Everything good.
So then I say thank you from my side. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Mike, for helping out. There will be another webinar coming up tomorrow, so we will do this now every day. So we're really looking forward for your input, for all your inspirations, what you want us to do. So feel free to go to the forum, feel free to comment even in Pandora's Box, learn in the YouTube channel. Just let us know what you want to do. That was just a little overview for the very, very basic Widget Designer, but we will do this now every day. So that's it from my side. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.